various places, and I'm now aware that online there may be quite a lot of people who've never met me in person or done my classes. So just to say that some of the poses that I'm going to teach might not be suitable for you, and please bear in mind that you've got to look after yourselves. Don't do anything you're not comfortable doing. If you do have any injuries, conditions, etc., then you need to be mindful of that and listen to the cautions when I give them. And usually I get feedback from my students, and I know who's in front of me normally, and I respond to what's in the class. A little bit different out there online, so look after yourselves. Don't do anything that you feel is not right for you, especially in this class today. So what you may need is a strap, maybe some blocks, something nice for the knees like a blanket or a towel, and perhaps for one of the postures towards the end of the class we'll be looking at an inversion. So for those who it might not be a great idea to go upside down, maybe a chair or a bench will be your alternative. I'll give you some things to do instead of an inversion. So to start with, let's lie down, comfy on the floor, and you can have the knees bent to begin with. We want the feet roughly about hip width. Nice relaxed spine to the ground, perhaps turn the palms up towards the ceiling. And we'll start with a few conscious breaths in through the nose, out through the nose. You can have the eyes either open or closed. And think of on that exhale, relaxing into the floor, just sinking down. Feeling that breath moving into the lower lungs. Exhaling out fully so that the belly relaxes to the floor on that exhalation. And then we'll take a nice big stretch out. So if you can extend the legs, take the arms overhead, big breath in, bit of arch through the spine as you exhale, relax, let that go. And again this time as we breathe in, we're going to flex the feet, toes towards the shins. Maybe even flex the wrists, so bring the fingers back towards the wrist. Alright, and release. And then we'll go for a side bend. So we're going to walk the feet a little bit over to the left. Take the arms a little bit to the left. Take again a big breath in. Open up through the right side of the body. On the exhale, we're going to relax that. And then we'll shuffle around, legs and arms to the right. Big breath in, stretch through the left. And ready, let that go, and we'll come back into the centre, bringing the arms back down beside the body. So we'll begin with some work into the outer hips, the glute muscles here, maybe a little bit into the hamstrings as well. So can we cross the right leg over the left? So loose cross-legged position, so I've got space between the thighs. And we're going to draw the toes back towards the shin. That just helps to keep the ankle joint firm and also adds a little bit more engagement, protection around the knee joint. So I'm encouraging the knee away from the body rather than having it coming in. So I'm just gently extending that away. And it's a very gentle opening here in the right outer hip. And then to take that a little bit further, left foot off the floor, and as we bring this leg closer, there's a few options. So some of you might be able to thread the arms between the outer left leg and inner right leg, inner left leg, and you can hold onto your shin or you can hold behind the back of the calf. But then for some, it's a little bit tricky, so you could use a strap instead. And what we'll do is we could just hook that around and you can hold that there. For other people, they might find that the foot slips off. So in that case, perhaps just hold on with the hand, and we keep wanting to encourage this knee sort of moving off away from the body. And as we bring this left foot closer, hopefully you're now getting a good sensation in that right buttock and right outer hip area. So that's what we're looking for. And if you're comfortable with all of that and you have your strap or tie, whatever you've got, next option is to perhaps straighten that left leg. And if you're good at lassoing the foot, yeah, I got it first time, you can put that around the ball of the foot, and then we just draw that leg to wherever it's comfortable. So we keep feeling this good sensation in our right buttock and outer hip area. I've still got my toes flexed back here on my right foot, and head is on the ground, shoulders relaxed on the ground, and we stay with that. Now I just noticed that with my left leg up in the air, I've got a tendency to bring it across to the middle, which means I'm moving away from the stretch that I want, so I'm going to bring that foot back so that my kneecap and my foot are lining up with my left shoulder rather than here in the middle of the body. So that's going to change the stretch. Those who are more flexible, you might be able to bring your foot much lower down into the groin, and for those who've got the tight knees like I do, you might need to be above the knee joint to ease off. So try and avoid pressing on the actual patella, that kneecap, be above or below it. Alright, so that's probably enough time there. What we'll do is we'll take that strap off, bend the left knee, still keep your legs crossed however, and we'll go into a twist. So arms just relaxed out shoulder height, and then we'll roll both legs to the left. And again, we're working this outer right hip, we're getting an opening across the thigh, and we're now also opening into our right lower back there, the lumbar region. I want to keep my shoulders on the floor, I want to feel the belly rising and falling with the breath, and I just enjoy this, no rush. And then we'll come back out on the breath in. Release that leg, give it a bit of a shake out. Notice how different the right side might feel from the left side. And then we'll come back in with the knees bent and crossing left leg over right. So remember to pull the toes back to the shin, just gently encouraging the knee away. So I'm not sort of pushing hard, but just a gentle little push there. As I can feel that easing off, so it gets more comfortable as we hold, then you can take that right foot off the floor. So you've got that choice of reaching through, holding behind, or looping your strap, whatever works for you. And we'll stay with that stretch for a little bit longer. Keep this foot flexed. Try and keep my head, shoulders relaxed on the floor. Hopefully you're feeling this in your left buttock, left hip. Again, watch if there's a tendency to lean to the left. Try and keep the knee in line with the right shoulder. And then maybe now straightening and see how good we are. Not so quite good on that side. Lassoing the toes. And just below the toes I end up with the strap. And then I want to encourage that knee again out. So I'm using my arm to prevent the knee sort of coming in. So it's just a little stopper there. I've still got my left toes flexed to my shin. And then I'm checking that my extended right leg is in line with my right shoulder. So I'm not coming across the body that way. Couple of breaths here. In our yoga practice, generally we try to always breathe in and out through the nose, unless you've got a cold. This feels so good, I don't want to come out, but we've got to move on. So, take the strap off, bend the knee back to the floor, keep the legs crossed, and we'll take those arms back out shoulder height. And on the exhale, let's roll both legs over to our right. Soften into this twist. Again, that focus on breath, belly. Check that the face is relaxed. hands just around the knees. We can go for a gentle rock. Hopefully getting the whole back rolling side to side. A little massage. And then from here, we're going to roll all the way over. And we're coming up to sit. So we'll be doing a couple of seated postures. You may need to prop up your sit bones a little bit higher on a blanket, especially those who know they've got the tighter hamstrings. That could be a very nice idea for you. So you don't want to be too high like on a bolster. Also have a strap within reach. So when we sit on the blanket, we're on the very edge. So it's almost like I'm falling off the edge here. And we're going to be taking the legs out nice and wide. And from here, I want to have those sit bones just on the edge of my blanket and not too much space behind the back of the knee. So if you're propped up too high and you do get a bit of discomfort in your knees, you may need to use a couple of extra little hand towels or something just to support underneath the knee joints as well. Especially those people that can hyperflex. Make sure that you're not sort of dropping into the back of your knee joints there. Now I've got my toes drawn up towards me. So I sort of don't want to have them relaxed, and I'm trying not to let my legs sort of fold out to the side. So I want to keep the kneecaps facing the ceiling. So these legs are quite active. So from here we'll go into a side bend. We're going to take the left hand onto the side of the body, breathe in, take the right arm up, and as we exhale, leaning over to our left side. So we get this nice stretch through the right. We're going to breathe in, come back to centre. On the exhale, let's lean over to the right, opening the left. And I want to make sure that I'm sort of not twisting off behind me. It's just directly to the side. Alright, let's breathe in back to centre. A little forward bend, not too deep, as we haven't really warmed up the hamstrings yet. So just easing wherever you can manage. For a lot of people, I know this is not their favourite move coming forwards, but we're trying to fold from our hip creases. And we're keeping the spine long and just noticing where you feel the stretch. For me, I notice it a little bit in here, a little bit in the outer hip. Other people, it may be in the back, all the calves, behind the knees, all sorts of places we can feel this stretch. And then we'll come back up. Okay, so just shake it out a little bit. And what we'll be moving into is a pose called Janush or Pavrita Janushasana. So Pavrita twist, Janu means knee and Shurs is head, so it's essentially a twisted head to knee pose. And we're going to go to the right side first. So can we turn the body to face the left foot? This is our start of the little twist. So as we look towards the left, I'm going to lean over to my right. Now you can rest your elbow on your thigh or your knee, and other people might be able to bring it to the inside of the leg. And for those who've got a little bit more constriction, you might need to have a spacer, like a brick between the arm and the leg, just to get that support as we lean over to our right side. So I'm turning my chest, turning my ribs. I'm trying to draw the right ribs forwards, relax the left shoulder back, and then I see if I can extend the crown of my head towards my right toes. Now this hand, you could have it resting on the floor. You could hold on to your big toe if you can reach, or you could use a strap, like so. So lots of different options there. And then we keep turning, keep leaning a little bit further over. I've got both sit bones relaxed to the ground. And on the next breath, we're going to reach up through the left arm, see how that feels. So this is starting to really open into the side body. This could be plenty. And if your arm gets tired, feel free to rest it back here on the hip. Or, as you exhale, start to lean over. And if it's comfortable, coming over a little bit more. Now if it's a bit tricky to reach the toes, feel free to bridge the hands together, have the head framed between the hands. Or you can just keep the arm up here. And you feel this beautiful side stretch to the left side of the body. I've just realised my main clock on the wall has stopped working. So sorry if I keep looking at my watch from here on in. Alright, now we come out slow on the breath. So let's breathe in, take the top arm up, and we can exhale back to centre. Notice how that feels, big difference between the sides. What's the brain feel like? So I find these postures, it's like a when I come out. So let's now move over to our left. We start with a little twist first. Lean to the left leg, hands wherever you're comfortable to go, use a brick underneath, just for that connection. And then you can grab your toes. If you can reach, you can use the strap. You can rest the hand wherever it's comfortable to go. And then we see if we can get a little bit more lean over, crown of the head moving towards those left toes. Lift and turn. As we inhale, taking up this right arm. Getting comfy with that. And then from here, on the next exhale, maybe take it a little bit further, see how that feels. Perhaps bridge the head between the arms here. So keep turning, keep lifting. Perhaps you can reach your big toe, but don't collapse forwards to do that. So we want to keep this rotation. If you can get your big toe, maybe eke it out to the little toe. See how that feels. Keep breathing. And then on the next breath in, let's take the top arm up first. And slowly all the way out. Breath in and out. Notice how it feels. How does it affect the brain? Let alone the body. Okay. So from here, we'll bend the knees. Now you can use your hands to bring those legs in. They might be a little bit stiff after being up there for so long. And we'll just hug forwards. So you can, hold your hands, monkey grip, hold your elbows, whatever's comfy. And we're just going to relax the head, a little round out through the spine. Again, just a couple of breaths. And then on the breath in, we'll release the hands. And let's just bring the hands behind. Inhale, lift the chest, open up through the throat, through the front body, little arch in the back. Alright, and then coming back to a neutral position. Now we're going to come over onto our knees. So this is where you may want to put some padding down for your knees, depending on how sensitive they are. And we're lunging. So from here, you may want to have some bricks. If you like to have bricks underneath your hands when you're lunging, then you want them set up near the top of the mat. So let's step the right foot up towards the hands. And I've got a reasonable step up. So my hips just in front of my knee and my right knee's directly over my ankle or my heel. And then easing a little bit back with the right hip so I get a bit more extension through this left side. So if you like the bricks, you can easily just have the hands here resting on the bricks or on the floor. Now from this position, we'll come upright, staying in the lunge. So just bringing the torso upright. What we tend to do is back it off a little bit. So do try to keep the front knee or readjust the foot if you like so the front knee's over the ankle there. And then we'll place the hands on the top of the pelvis. And as we breathe in, lift up through the front of the spine. Take the gaze up a little bit higher, but we're not throwing the head all the way back. And next breath in, both arms up. So we're opening up through the side body, through the front. And we want to keep that length in the spine. So think of relaxing the buttocks towards the floor. And then we'll bring both arms back down. So twist. So my right hand is on my right leg. I'm going to breathe my left arm up. And then as I exhale, turn and reach back and look down the left arm. Now you can hold it here, or you could make it a bit more of a back bend and reach down, for your foot, your calf, or add support to your back. So check in what's comfortable, but we're looking for this really good opening here in this left thigh. Maybe take the gaze up or down or straight ahead again, what feels best. And then from here, let's breathe in. We're going to turn, come back, and then this is where we get a little bit more of a hamstring stretch. So bricks could be useful. We'll bring them in a little closer. Straighten the front leg, lifting the toes. Trying to get this right knee straight, and I'm drawing back with my right buttock. So you can bring those bricks in nice and close. And of course, you can change the height. And remember, if you don't have yoga bricks, a couple of books works. Or lunch boxes, I find. A good solid lunch box can be quite good as well. Get creative in your kitchen. So just allowing that opening in the hamstring, in the calves. Maybe fold a little deeper to access some more of that. And then release. So bend the front knee. I'm going to step back. And then coming into a child pose. So just releasing that hip flexor. I quite like to support my head on my hands, but that's because my buttocks are fairly high up in the air. So preferably, if you're comfortable, to rest your head on the floor in this position, and my buttocks would ideally be down on my heels, but my right knee just won't let me bend that far anymore, so I support up here instead. Key is, are you comfortable? Because it's meant to be comfortable as a rest. Alright, coming up, we've got the left side, so let's step left foot forwards. Again, if you like the bricks, bring them underneath the hands, let's ease into the stretch. So I've got the good alignment here with my vertical shin, drawing the left hip back, just a little bit more, so I'm opening in that right side a little bit deeper. The hip flexor, the front of the thigh is what we're looking for in the stretch. And I can either keep the head neutral, looking down, or just a little bit up. And then let's press through the front left foot, and we'll come all the way upright with the torso. Notice how I naturally just want to ease off. So I've got to find my realignment, or readjust your front foot a little bit further in. So if we put the hands on the hips, they should roughly be level. We're going to lift with the breath, opening up the front here. Chin's just that little bit higher now. And then next breath in, let's take the arms up. Shoulders relaxed. Spread the fingers, so we want them active. And think of a nice extension from fingers down the arms, down to that bottom bent knee on the floor. Alright, so let's bring the hands back down. Open twist, so left hand on left knee, so same side connection. Let's breathe in the right arm. And as we exhale, we're going to turn to the right. So I'm looking down my fingers on the right side. You can stay here, or you can take it a little bit more into a back bend, reaching or supporting wherever it's comfortable. Just check that you can breathe. You can either look up or look down or straight ahead. And then take a breath in. We're going to reach all the way back and over to the front. And then this is again where you may want to bring those bricks in a little closer. We're going to straighten the front left leg. So I'm drawing up my kneecap, lifting my toes, easing back a bit with the hips. Forward bending if that's available. So, if you've got those tight hamstrings, you might look a little bit more up here. So just keep working back through that front straight leg. Doesn't matter where you are, just as long as you're getting some sensation of stretch through the back of this left leg. Notice I use sensation, not the word pain. I don't like pain. That's not a good indication of a comfortable yoga practice. So we look for sensation. There is a difference. Easing back out of this. So we place the foot on the floor, bend the knee, and we're going to take a big step back again. We'll come back into our child pose. So some people like to have their knees a little wider, big toes touching. Others find it more comfortable with the knees about hip width. I don't mind. Just be comfortable and feel supported. Ideally, you want your forehead resting on something, whether it's your hands, whether it's the floor, doesn't matter, but it's calming for the brain if we have that support there. Let me just focus on the breath. Alright, so coming back to hands and knees, and from here we're going to be moving into some standing poses. So take the hands just a little further in front of the shoulders, have the hips over the knees are hip width, the feet are hip width, and then we'll tuck our toes under. So we're going to keep the knees bent as we move back into a little bit of a dog pose. So from here, both knees just easing off the floor, but knees stay bent. Slide the hips back, allow the head to rest between the upper arms, and then you can do a little bit of a walk out. Get the creaks and cracks out of the joints there. And then we can start to take the hips back, heels back a little bit more. See, my knees are still soft. I'm trying to relax into my shoulders. And then I'm just gradually extending that out. No rush. Again, we focus on the breath. We'll take both knees back to floor. And come back. You'll rest, whichever rest you like. So for those who aren't a big fan of downward dog, you can do an alternate cat-calf stretch in that position. And I know some of you do have wrist problems, so your other choice when we go into our downward dog is take the wrists out of it, be on your forearms instead. I quite like to have my palms together, elbows are shoulder width. So we're going to go back into a downward dog. I'll do this what we call dolphin dog on the forearms. But if you're happy doing full downward dog on the hands, go for that one. So we'll tuck under, inhale, and exhale back. So in this dolphin dog position, my head is not touching the ground. I can just let my neck hang. So you're either in your full Svanasana, downward dog, or this one if you prefer. And then we'll release and come back down, have another rest. And of course for my seniors, you should already know if you don't like doing downward dog on the floor, you've gone to a wall or a bench already, and you're doing your downward dog against the wall or a chair or something like that. Now, we'll make our way up to stand, so if you can come upright, and we'll take one foot forwards, doesn't matter which one, just a low lunge here, and ideally we don't want to press on our kneecaps, so if you can come up with no hands, awesome. All you got to do is tuck under, lift and push and come up. If you do like to push against something, put your hands here on your mid-thigh and you can press down into that leg as you come up, and then we'll step forwards. Okay, and we'll take anything that we've got off on our mats, just put that off to the side. And we're going to be facing the short end of the mat. And we'll start with warrior number one, Virabhadrasana 1. So feet are hip width, at least hip width. Left foot, let's turn it slightly out to the side. So it's like a smidgen. When we step the right foot forwards, keep it on the right side of the mat, so don't cross your feet over. Okay, so if I put my hands on top of my pelvis here, they're pretty level, so I want to make sure I'm not sort of facing my long end of the mat. I'm going to turn and face the short end. Front knees just a bent over the ankle there. We're going to inhale, lift, so this is just like our lunge, but we're standing. Take the arms up if it's comfortable. If you don't like this shoulder rotation, a nice prayer position here at the heart. You can have the thumbs and lift the sternum to the heart instead. So whatever's comfortable. So I'm pressing through my left heel, drawing up my left kneecap, and I'm feeling this extension coming up through the front as I push strongly down through the back. Alright, we'll bring the hands back down. We'll step out and we'll change sides. So just watch your right foot hasn't turned all the way out to the side like this one here, because then it pulls my hip back. It's very hard to face this direction. So I'm going to pivot. Make sure both feet are pointing straight ahead. Bend into the front knee. And then when you're ready, breathing in. Find your comfortable arm position. But think about this back right leg. Push through the heel. Draw up the kneecap. Keep easing the right hip forwards, relaxing the left hip back. Make the fingers alive. And then release the arms and stepping back out. Okay, shake it off. So moving this one into a balance, we're going to focus on warrior number 3, working on the leg strength in this pose. So if you need a little bit more support for your ankle, knee joints, hip joints, etc., or your balance is feeling a little off today, you can use the wall. And how you'll use the wall is you can do a little measure, just like a half dog there. You can step back away from the wall, and then when we come into the pose, you put your hands on the wall and work with the balance that way. If you want to make it more challenging for yourself and you haven't got any injuries, you don't need to use the wall. And we're going to be doing warrior 3 with a bent knee to start off with, the bent knee on the supporting leg, so it's going to make these muscles work a little bit more. So we start from our warrior 1. Front knee's already bent, we've got the right foot forwards. Let's inhale. If you're not using the wall, bring the hands together. You can create a Akash mudra with the index finger pointing directly up. I've got my arms next to my ears. If you are using the wall, keep the hands separate so you can have both hands comfortably on the wall. So from here, we start warrior 1. As we exhale, we're going to bend a little bit deeper into that right knee. Transfer the weight to the right foot, keep the knee bent. Lift and float the left foot off the floor, so you could hold it here. If you want to go a little bit deeper, bring the body lower, keep the knee bent, and take the left leg up. This is hard work. If you're on the wall, you're going to have the hands on the wall. You'll probably have the elbows bent. Now we're going to float left foot to floor, inhale warrior 1, and let that go. So, shake it out. Keeping the knee bent, it's just going to make these muscles work a little bit stronger around those joints. So, left foot forwards, either hands together, index finger pointing upwards. Let's come into our warrior 1. Check that you're happy with your left foot position. Is it grounded? Is it straight? So we bend just a little bit deeper. Start to lean forwards. Transfer weight to left foot. Hover the right foot off the floor. See how that feels. If you can go deeper. Keep the left knee bent. Take that right leg higher. Hold it low. This is strong work. And then float back to the floor. Warrior 1. Release. yoga styles do it from a completely straight leg. So we'll try it their way. We're going to keep front knee bent. Inhale, arms up. Nice and strong. And think of this a little bit like one of those dunking birds. So I can't move forwards unless it's coming from my back leg. So I don't want to be sort of folding from the hips this time. So transfer weight to right foot. Hover the left foot just off the floor. And then from here, if I want to come forwards with the chest, I have to lift my left leg up. Right leg is really strong, really straight. So I'm drawing up the kneecap, pressing down through the heel, the ball of the foot. I keep lifting my left leg up. Keep breathing. And we keep coming down. This is hard work. To come up, same way. We lift the body, the leg comes down. Let that go. A little bit different from the other way, isn't it? So let's change sides. Straight left leg. Make sure the foot's straight. Take both arms up. Transfer weight to left foot. So I've just got the right toes on the floor. Now from here, I'm trying not to bend at my hips. Action will come from the right leg. So as I lift that leg up, the body comes forwards. I keep reaching out through my right foot and through the fingers. And I keep remembering to breathe as I slowly make my way down. Alright, and come back out. Oh. Give those shoulders a shrug. Give the legs a little bit of a shake out. Now we're not quite finished. So, last warrior 3 is putting those two versions together. So for this one, the right foot again forward. We're going to start with the bent knee. Then we're going to try and straighten that once we're in the pose. We'll see if we can hold that for a breath or two. And then I'm going to bend the knee to come back out. So, warrior 1 with the bent knee. Let's breathe in, take the arms up, reaching up and out. As we exhale, folding forwards, transfer the weight so my knee's a little bit bent. I'm going to take my left leg up, reach out, try and get that straight line. And then last little bit, can I push up through the right leg and straighten everything at the last moment. I'm going to bend the knee, reach down, let that go. So a lot of muscle work there. Okay, we've got 1 to go. Should be feeling warm now. This builds up heat in the body, and certainly I'm finding it a little bit warm. So left foot in front knee starts bent. Let's take the arms up. Arms stay next to the ears. So we're going to keep the knee bent, lean forwards, transfer the weight. Now can we keep the knee bent as we take the right leg up? Keep reaching out. Last little bit, if we can, straighten into that left leg. Oh, hard work. I can feel myself go crooked. Oh, lost it. Bend knee, come back out. Oh, and we're going to go for a nice little twist. So feet wider than hip width, knees are really soft, and relaxed twist. Just let the arms fly around. Let it all go. Cool it down a little bit. And then come back. So warriors, they're all about being strong, being grounded, and we're just trying to find that strength and determination as well, not just in the physical body, but mentally. So those postures require a little bit of mental effort as well. Okay, let's move into Uttanasana. So feet are hip width, they're straight, knees are soft, we're going to fold from the hips. Now you can either have this halfway rest position, head more neutral, or if it's comfortable, you can fold deeper with the arms folded, and we just allow the spine to hang. So I want the back of my neck nice and long. Let's release the arms. Inhale, take the head up, and then slowly coming out. Now next pose, a little bit more calf stretch work, and this is quite a deep knee bend, so for me I have to modify because of my right knee. Others of you are going to be fine to go all the way into a beautiful deep squat. Anyone who does have issues with their knees, sometimes I find that putting a little bit of support behind the back of the knee joint, so I've just folded my strap here. You could use some rolled up socks or anything else, a little hand towel, etc. And I find that when I put this behind the back of my knee and I come into a squat, sometimes it just gives me a bit more space and comfort. So a couple of ways you can do this. If you've got a wall, you could lean against the wall, and I'm going to put my little strap there. So I'm just going to slide down the wall, and even there, it's a little bit tight. But this is called my version of Malasana. So I'm just using my hands to ease forwards, and I've got my feet flat on the floor. So that's pretty much it for me. My body's not going to let me go any deeper into that one. Others of you, you're going to be quite happy to do this one on your mats. You may need to roll up the mat a little bit, and you can put your heels a little bit more elevated on the mat. Ideally you could do this with your feet together, and you would come down into that deep squat. Again, that's it. That's all I can manage with my knees. So either or, I don't mind, but we're just trying to get this sort of little rounding through the back of the body there, whichever position we're in. And we breathe. It's a good workout for these Achilles, these calves. And then we're going to release. And come back out. And then this is where I'm going to move into a couple of postures now that I really do have to give cautions for. They're not going to suit everyone, so I'm going to give lots of alternatives. The first one we're going to be looking at is Shirsasana, headstand. So when you say headstand, everyone goes, oh my God. Some of my students out there, I know you have a regular practice and there's nothing wrong with your neck, your shoulders, etc. and you're perfectly okay to do a headstand. So for those of you who do know how to safely do it, please set yourself up while I show people a couple of alternatives. So first up, do not do headstand. If you haven't been taught by your teacher with correct alignment, etc., that's best done face to face. Unfortunately, in these times, that's really hard to do, but that's my recommendation. And you don't do headstand if you've got any problems with your eyes, any problems with your neck or your shoulders. If you're pregnant, we don't recommend it. If you're menstruating, again, it's not great to go upside down. So there's a whole lot of contraindications, so I really recommend checking in with your own teachers. For me, I've got a new toy, which I got for my last Christmas present, which is a headstander, which I absolutely love. So, and I know some of my students have these sorts of equipment as well. So for here, I just put my shoulders on the padded supports. I lean in, I can take one leg up and the other, and I can now have a beautiful relaxed headstand here. So most of you though aren't going to have one of these fabulous contraptions. So my other recommendation would be to work on the basics. Now you can do this with a bench or a chair or on the floor. So those who don't like to have their head too low, all you're going to need is a bench or a chair, one brick, maybe some padding underneath the knees, because you will be kneeling. And we put the brick between the hands, like so palms against the edges there, and then I put my elbows on the edge of my support, whether it's a table, a chair, or a bench, and then I lean back, have the brick upright, and rest the forehead on the edge. So this is working the shoulders, outer arms, and that's sort of a good basis for your classic headstand position. So that's your alternative. If you don't like headstand, practice that one please. Or you can also do this. It's nicer against a wall, so pretend that I've just got my wall here at the edge of my mat. You can do this on the floor with your dolphin dog. So hands again either side of the brick, elbows stay on the ground, and we lift up and back into our dolphin dog that we did earlier. And I'm trying to move away from my hands, so I don't want to be collapsed forwards. If this is sort of happening, then that's an indication that you're probably not really ready to go into your headstands at this point. So you do need good shoulder strength, good core strength to get up and kick up into those sorts of postures, and make sure that you don't have any other health contraindications. Alright, for those who've already been in their headstand while I've been talking on with those different options, come back out if you haven't already. And when we come out, important to rest. So if I was using my chair or my headstander, and I've been there for a little while, I would come and I would rest like this. You can have the knees bent. So I'm just allowing my blood pressure to settle. Get the head not so heavy. Another choice is Uttanasana, or if you're closer to the floor, we come down into our favourite child pose, which is always best. So you never want to rush into your next posture straight after a headstand. You want to give it a little bit of time for that to settle. Alright, so that's my caution pose today. Definitely not for everybody. I'm not even keen to demonstrate the full one on video, just in case people are too tempted to give it a go when they're not ready. So please be mindful about that one. Okay, from here, let's come to sit. And you may want to have, again, the hips just a little bit elevated. We're going to be doing a twist. So you can see I've just folded my blanket into 3, so it's just that little bit higher than what I had earlier. And I want to sit so that the sit bones are both on an even surface and grounded. Alright, either, a couple of things we can do with the legs. You could cross your left leg underneath your right leg, so the foot's coming towards my right hip. And you could either keep that leg straight, the right leg straight, or you could bring it over and across. So depending on what's comfortable, if neither of that's comfortable, you could also just keep both legs straight. So whatever's going to work for you. So with our twist, we're now going to do a closed twist. So that means I'm moving towards the bent knee. If you're pregnant, not the ideal class for you. Go online and find some pregnancy classes, but make sure you're doing those open twists, not these closed twists. So from here, I'm going to take my right hand behind, draw up nice and tall, and I want to make sure that I'm not rounding into my back. Not ideal to twist into a rounded spine, really not great for your vertebrae. So you always want that tall spine. If you can't achieve that, pad up a little bit higher until you can get the tall spine. So from there, I'm going to breathe in, lift up. As I exhale, I'm trying to turn through my belly, turn through my ribs, turn through the chest, and then I can bring the gaze around. Now some of you might be okay to hook your elbow to the outside of the knee. As you can see, I'm challenged with my body type, so I just hold on to my hold on to my knee, Take the gaze around into your twist. Each breath in, I want you to think of pressing through the sit bones, drawing up through the crown of the head. And as we exhale, we can maybe go a little bit deeper. We're going to hold this for a few breaths. Each breath drawing up, each exhale maybe taking ourselves a little bit deeper. Alright, come back out. Unravel. So you can either do your simple twist like this, or you can cross the left leg over like that, or you could bring the right foot underneath and the left foot over and around. So, tall spine, drawing up, left hand behind, deep breath in. As we exhale, we're going to turn the belly, turn the chest, take the gaze around, keep the chin parallel to the floor. Try and keep both shoulders level as well. Deep breathing, soft face. Alright, let's release on the inhale, all the way back out. Take both legs out, give a little shake out. And then from here we want a comfortable position. We're going to do a pranayama practice before we go to lying down. So for that one I'm going to sit on a bolster. I like to be a little bit higher. Totally up to you. You can also sit in a chair. Works just as well. Again, key is straight spine. I don't mind if you cross your legs or find another comfortable seated position. We just want the space to expand into the spine. Now, I'm not going to tell you or give you a count for your breath. What I want you to now do is, as you breathe through the nose and out through the nose, is work out your own natural breath length. So you're going to mentally count how long you breathe in for and how long you breathe out for. And begin when you're ready. So hopefully you've now got a rough idea how long you breathe in for, how long you breathe out. And what I'd like you to try and do is to bring that to same breath. So if you have a count of breathing in for 5, then can you breathe out for 5? So bear in mind everyone counts at a different rate. Some people go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and others will go 1, 2, 3. So that's why I'm not going to give you a count. I want you to use your own count, and we go for same breath. So inhale for same, exhale for same. So just do a couple of breaths with that. So hopefully you found that's not too difficult. And then we're going to add a little bit extra now. So there's 4 parts to the breath. We have our inhale, that's the first part. Then there's a little pause, so we hold the breath in. Then we have our exhale, that's the third part. And then at the end of the exhale, we have a little pause where the breath is suspended. So now we're going to introduce, with our count of the breath, a half count. So you're going to breathe in, for example, we'll use 5 again. If we breathe in for 5, then we hold the breath in for either 2 or 3, your choice. Exhale for 5, and then we hold the breath out for 2 or 3 counts. So if you're looking at a ratio, it's going to be 4, 2, 4, 2, or 5-3-5-3, or 6-3-6-3, depending on what your count is. So when you're ready, begin. So as you continue with that, you might notice that you prefer to hold your breath in, or you have a preference to hold your breath out, or you find it easy to breathe in or easy to breathe out. We all have different habits with our breath. So we're just trying to bring a little bit of structure to the breath. If you're comfortable with what you're doing, you could add an extra count to your breath. So if you have that count of 5, can you breathe in now for 6, hold for 3, breathe out for 6, hold for 3. And you can keep working with your breath. So this is something you can do as your home practice, focusing just once a day on that even breath in and out, and then introducing those pauses between the breath. And this is just a nice calming practice for the mind and the body, bringing a bit of balance to the breath. Alright, so from here, we'll let the breath go, and we're going to go down onto the floor and get ready for a relaxation. So if you've got something warm to put on, grab that, clear your space, make sure you're not going to get interrupted, and let's get comfortable. We might just do a little roll on the floor first, if you like. So after the seated, perhaps take the legs up in the air, arms up in the air, give everything a nice little bit of a shake out, and some relaxed. We'll come to the floor, arms relaxed, and maybe just a nice little side winder with the legs there. And then finding that comfortable position in Shavasana, if that feels good for you. So I quite like, if I'm going to spend a bit of time in my Shavasana, I use a bolster, pile of cushions, blankets, whatever I've got, and I just set those up underneath the knees. I make sure my heels can just touch the ground there, toes falling out, arms relaxed. I could, if I really want to get a bit more luxurious, I could add just that little bit of extra support or softness underneath the head there, and I'm good to go. But as I'm going to give the relaxation, I'm going to sit upright so I can read. Okay. So if you haven't already, comfortable position. Today's relaxation will be based on melting into the floor. So now that you've got yourself settled on the ground, check if you need to make any changes. And if you do, please make them. And then from here on, resist the urge to move. So to get the body just perhaps a little bit more settled, cross both arms so that you're giving yourself a nice big hug. So I'm going to lift the arms over, take hold of each shoulder, separate out the shoulder blades, giving yourself a big hug. So we can away from the shoulders, so just sort of wiggle them down a little bit more, lengthening the spine. And then taking a breath in, and on the exhale, contract the abdominal muscles, press the lower back to the floor, and then let that tension go. See if the lower back can be comfortable. And then think of extending the heels away from the buttocks. Add a bit more length there, and then release any tension, let the toes fall out. And then with the arms, just make a little fist, extend the arms away from the shoulders, a little bit of tension there. And then let that go. Soften the fingers, soften the palms, relax into the shoulders. So with the head and the neck, press the chin in so you're lengthening into the back of the neck. And then relaxing that, press the head against the floor, feel that tension, and then relax that tension. Maybe a little roll of the head side to side, very gentle, loosening off any neck muscles. And then finding that center position with the head. So from here onwards, can you now keep the body still? Because when the body is still, then our mind has a chance of becoming still. And if any thoughts arise, try to let them pass through without getting involved with them. And maybe say this affirmation to yourself: I am relaxing, releasing, letting go completely. I am relaxed. Taking your awareness through your body, feel that point where the head touches the ground, and notice any sensations at that point, if there's any pulse beat, tingling, and just feel the pressure of the head on the floor, or maybe there's just numbness. Move the awareness to the crown of the head, top of the head. And then imagine that you're moving through the skull, right into the brain. And remind every brain cell to switch off and fire melting, evaporating into mist. Then feel the legs heavy on the ground, heels and calves melt to the floor. The hamstrings release at the back of the legs, thighs soften, let go and melt. And the buttocks melt, they spread out and are absorbed into the floor. The abdominal muscles melt inside you, chest muscles dissolve under the ribs, and the whole body feels limp. It's an absolute letting go. You become one with the earth, and as the body melts and expands, you are free from all the usual ties and thoughts. You feel at peace. And the body relaxed and calm. You can rest your mind in this peace. Bringing the awareness back to that sensation of your body lying on the ground, aware of the connection points between yourself and the floor. Listening to the different sounds around you in the room that you're in and sounds outside that room. Start to draw a deeper breath in through the nose into the lungs. And as you breathe in that little bit deeper, add some movement now to the hands and to the feet, to the arms and the legs. Just waking the body up in any way that is comfortable to move, to do whatever feels good. And when you feel ready, rolling over to the right hand side. Either resting there on your side or coming up to sit comfortably. And we'll finish with this week's quote. I don't have the author for today's quote, but they say, an entire sea of water can't sink a ship unless it gets inside the ship. Similarly, I always struggle with that word. The negativity of the world can't put you down unless you allow it to get inside you. And at this time with the COVID-19 virus, there is so much negativity pouring into the media in our lives, we can find in our homes. And we're just going to make sure we don't let that all we're doing jigsaws at our house, and make sure you don't have that news feed on 24/7 because it gets a little bit exhausting for all of us. So all the best. Namaste. Enjoy.